Welcome to Business Time, the main stage for your business.
Hello and welcome to a new episode on our podcast. And today, if you want to learn more about business setup, about taxation, and the best way possible, this is the episode for you. I want to welcome Mukesh and Nazir from Avantex Corporate for our podcast today. How are you guys?
Hi, how are you?
We are doing good.
Great to see you here again. You know, we're discussing so much and I've learned so much from your expertise on business setup and on taxation. And I'm really looking forward for this podcast. So before we start today, I want you, maybe Nazir, to start and tell us a little bit about Avantex. What exactly is it doing? What are your services?
Avantex is a UAE-based consultancy and corporate service provider, empowering the entrepreneurs since 2018. We giving comprehensive corporate services to the clients, including company setup, PRO services, document management, accounting services, taxation support, and ISO certification and product registration as well.
Amazing. So like a one-stop shop for everything you need to set up your business here in the UAE.
Exactly.
Magnificent.
Yeah.
And you know, Nazir, there are many agencies in the UAE that are doing it. Can you tell us what sets Avantex apart from different agencies?
Our personalized approach and extensive local knowledge and dedicated team giving the good service to the clients.
Amazing.
These are the main key point about the Avantex.
Yeah, you know, service, I feel it's the most important thing, especially when you're doing something like that. Okay, Mukesh, I want to maybe you can start talking about a little bit about company tax, because, you know, a lot of people, expats coming from to the UAE to open their company. We've been told that UAE is tax-free. Now it's changed a little bit. So can you just mention what's important to know?
Yeah, definitely, Elias. What I will do, I will just first briefly explain you the corporate tax structure, which has recently been introduced. And then I will give you the idea of the VAT, which was already there in place. And I will give the comparative study of corporate tax and VAT, like what all things are there, like differences between these two. Okay, so first coming to the corporate tax. Corporate tax is first introduced from the accounting period 1st June 2023. So the people or the corporates who are having the calendar accounting year, that is from 1st January to December, for them the first tax period will be 1st January 24 to 31st December 24. And for them, the return for the corporate tax, the due date for filing the return for corporate tax will be 30th September 2025. So they will have enough time to file the return from the end of the year. But recently, one circular has come regarding the companies, those companies which has been established after 1st June 2023. For those companies, the first accounting period will be 1st June 23 till December 23. And for those companies, the return for corporate tax needs to be filed before 31st of December 2024. It means 2 months from now, we have time for 2 months for filing the return. So this is the corporate tax. Now, I will come to the percentage of corporate tax. Now in UAE, the flat rate of 9% of corporate tax is applicable for all the companies whose net revenue exceeds 375,000
dirham.
Yeah, 375,000 dirham exceeding this amount. So what I mean is, if the revenue is, say, I will give you one example. If the revenue is 1 million dirham and their expenses against those revenue is around 400,000 dirham, then net is 600,000 dirham. So from this 600,000 dirham, you have to remove 375,000 dirham, and balance amount you have to pay 9% tax. So this is how the tax will be calculated. Okay, so this is regarding the corporate tax. Now, with respect to VAT, it was introduced in the year 2018, and the flat rate of 5% was applicable on VAT. But in VAT, what is the provision is like there is no mandatory for all the companies to register for VAT, while in corporate tax, all the companies has to register for this corporate tax. There is no exclusion. In VAT, if your revenue exceeds 375,000 dirham per annum, then only you need to register for VAT. Otherwise, it is not mandatory for those companies. But of course, they can voluntarily do the registration if they want to do the registration. That's the option given. So these are the things like regarding corporate tax and VAT and all that differences.
Okay, so that's very, very important things to know if you're opening a company. And regarding opening a company, Nazir, can you just tell us a little bit how company formation works in the UAE? How can you, if I want to open a company tomorrow, what procedure should I go through?
Yeah, UAE is a land of opportunity. The visionary leaders has created, the country has a business hub. Many people from different countries, they are coming and starting business here because of the infrastructure development, the opportunity in different area of businesses. So we are providing and we are guiding to the new establishment who are starting business in UAE, and we are supporting them to provide a proper support and establishing a company in UAE. The process of starting a company, starting from trade name reservation until the necessary documentation and regulatory compliances. So we are assisting the new establishment for all these purposes.
Amazing. So you just take them through the process. As you said, the first step is to have your trade name registered, and afterwards, they take care of opening the company. And one doing it, Mukesh, can you just tell us a little bit, because I know that you guys are working a lot with SMEs. This is your main type of client. So can you share us maybe one or two advices for SMEs that hear us now?
Definitely. See, what I would like to tell you for these SMEs, there are certain tips which I need to give it to them. Like there are many small companies, medium scale and small companies, for whom it is very important to understand the local regulations. What I mean by the local regulation is, if suppose you want to have a new startup, then first you will select the activity. And based on your activity, you have to see whether those activities are available in the economic department, and then select accordingly. You cannot select one activity and do the business for another activity. So these are the points which they have to consider. There are certain regulations with respect to the labor department, immigration department, even Anti-Money Laundering Act is there. So all these regulations they have to understand. And this is the one thing. Another important thing is they have to properly maintain the records. That is the crucial point, because now corporate tax coming into the picture from this year onwards, they need to have a proper accounting records as per the international financial reporting standards, and it is very crucial to make these reports at the end of the year. So here we can always help these SMEs in order to make these records proper and have their financials done proper to file the corporate tax returns. So this is what a small advice which I have to give. And one more thing I would like to add here is like in corporate tax, there is one provision, or there is a relief given to the small businesses, that if the revenue is less than 3 million dirham, then they need not opt for corporate tax. So it's a 0% tax for the SMEs whose revenue is not exceeding 3 million dirham. So there is a relief for them until they exceed the revenue. Once the revenue is exceeded, then they will have to pay the corporate tax.
We always want them to grow bigger and better.
Yeah, so
and
this
do
is
more.
to help the SMEs. The government has given this, FT has given this relief to the SMEs.
Great.
It's a good thing.
Definitely, very good thing, because we want small businesses to grow and become large businesses and corporates. So
definitely.
That's definitely the thing. And I want also to mention another thing, because I know that you guys in Avantex work a lot with companies that have inventory. And you help them, create better inventory, because it's also a big worry of many businesses. So can you just share with us some inventory management tips or any ideas to help running your inventory correctly?
Definitely. Here in inventory, what I will say is there are certain industries where the inventory control is very vital or very important for the company to maintain the inventory. For example, I will give you manufacturing companies. Manufacturing companies, they need to have a proper control over the inventory. If they do lose the control over the inventory, there will be a big problem for them. They may incur a loss due to some lack of sale or whatever, like based on the inventory. So my suggestion here is, like, if you are a company where your inventory requirement is vital, then you should have a proper inventory system in place. What do you mean by proper inventory system is like there are various ways of making the inventory through software maintenance, through operational issues, addressing the operational issues and all that. I will give you one example, like same for manufacturing industry. Suppose you first, what you do is you acquire the raw material. After acquiring the raw material, you make the semi-finished product, and after processing that product, it goes to the finished product, and then you sell the finished product into the market. So there are various processes involved in this. So you have to study all these processes and accordingly then come to a proper solution for the inventory management. Because if you miss any portion of controls over the inventory, then it may lead to improper inventory management, and then lack of sale and all that, and it will affect your business tremendously. Here I would like to add one more example of one of the company back home in India. There was one company who was doing very well, but suddenly they introduced few like 18 to 19 more products into their company, and those products were introduced, but the inventory management system or the logistic system was not properly done for those products, and ultimately what happened, they could not meet the requirement of the customer, and there was a shortage of inventory and they made a big loss. But subsequently, when they understood that this is the issue, within 1 year they come up with the solution, and proper inventory management, proper inventory system and document control, time and work study properly done, and within 1 year they again came back in the market, which was already gone to the competitors.
Amazing.
So now they again brought it back.
Amazing. That's
So
very good, very good story, and it shows that really the importance of good consulting and good experienced people to help and work with you in order to avoid and correct any other mistakes. Mr. Mukesh, can you also share another success story of company that you worked here in the UAE and helped gain great success for her?
Yeah, sure. One of our client actually, they were facing the same issue with the inventory management. So what we did, we helped them in implementing a robust inventory system, of course with the help of time and work management study that we did with them, and then we implemented a proper software which reduced their operational cost by 30%. So approximately AED 400,000 they could save on this operational cost. What do you mean by saving operational cost is like, when you have the inventory in place, there are a lot of processes involved in the inventory. So you have to study the processes in the inventory, from procurement till it goes to the customer. So all these things to be studied properly and implemented into the system, so that the system will give you the alerts also that this level is going down, this level is going, like this level is high, this level is low. So these are the things which you have to understand.
Amazing. And if you're talking about taxation and about, helping companies, pay their taxes right, doing whatever they need, do you have any success story regarding that?
Taxation also, yes, definitely we have helped our lot of clients with respect to the tax planning, what I will tell you. So what I suggest is that to all the people, that there should be a tax planning instead of tax evasion. There cannot be, you cannot evade the tax. It is not a legal practice. But at the same time, you can have a tax planning by which you can distribute your properly your resources in the company.
Amazing. So that's a very, very good advice, definitely. And I know that many, big companies around the world are using it to plan their taxes correctly and do it in the best way possible. And we also want to pay some taxes to help the countries that we are working, right?
I understand.
We want a better roads. We want better schools.
See, basically, what is tax? Tax is nothing but contribution by society for society.
Exactly.
Correct?
Exactly.
So when the tax is collected, it is used for the society, the better education, healthcare facility, infrastructure. Then there are a lot of recreation facilities, parks, resorts. All these has been used from the tax.
That's right.
So it is helpful to the society only.
And Nazir, if we are discussing, services and how we're getting in the best way possible, let's talk a little bit about visa as well, because a lot of expats coming here to the UAE, they want to open their company and they need to get visa, not only for themselves, but for their family maybe. So can you just tell us how this process goes?
Definitely. When you open the company in UAE, definitely you will get an investor or partner visa from the company. You can sponsor your family and kids, and they can avail the family visa here and live here.
Amazing. So these are very good, important things to know, and it's not a problematic process also.
No,
and your family can work here as well, with the right visas, right? So it's a very good thing to say.
Yeah, definitely. Once they get the residence family visa, they can work for the company. The government is providing work permit for working for the companies.
Amazing. So that's very good and important things to know. And Mukesh, I want also to discuss, about your experience, in the industry, in the companies in the industry that you work with. Can you just elaborate a little bit on that, please?
Yeah, Elias, I have worked with many industry sectors, from manufacturing, contracting, retail, trading, hospitality, real estate. All these companies I have worked with. So I will share you what all things we need to look into for particular type of industry. If you talk about manufacturing industry, then as we discussed the inventory part before. So in the manufacturing industry, these are the important aspects which you have to take into account, because there the inventory is a crucial factor for industry. So there you need to have a proper control on those type of things. So manufacturing company will have this type of controls which you have to keep. Now, if you come to some retail industry or retail sector, in retail sector, you will see that most of the expenses goes on your rental and the employment cost. So you need to understand that what are your rental payments, what are your employee cost, and come to a conclusion that whether you are able to cover this cost from your revenue or not. So these are the key areas which you have to understand for the different industries. So this is how our expertise we can use for our SMEs clients, for explaining them the different ideas.
Amazing. And if you're discussing experience, I feel that one of the most important things about experience is avoiding mistakes, avoiding the problems, because you've already been there and you've done that and you've seen it. So if you can just share the biggest mistakes or the common mistakes you see with companies, SMEs here.
Yeah, I understand what you are saying. As we already discussed before, for SMEs, the main important things the main mistakes what they make is ignorance of the local regulation, what we discuss. If they have no knowledge of the local regulation, then they have to come to the professionals and they have to take the consultation from the professionals, and then they have to accordingly form their company, or if they are already running the company, then they have to know from the professionals that what are the requirements with respect to certain regulations, as we discussed regarding labor laws, even anti-money laundering requirements. So all these things they should know. Plus, one more important thing is keeping the records proper. Keeping the records proper is very important, because based on the records only you can prove that this is your ultimate results of the business. So these are the requirements which they have to keep in mind. That first is keeping the proper control or properly understanding the local regulation, and keeping the proper records of the things.
Great. And if we are discussing, taxes and money, I feel that a lot of business owners and company owners fall on one particular thing, which is financial. They don't, get their incomes properly corrected, calculated. They're not getting their taxes maybe calculated correctly. They're not getting the revenue stream calculated correctly. So, financial advisors like you that can see the bigger amount, the bigger picture regarding financial, can really help a business owner get the better decisions for his business. So can you just share us what is your services around that?
Yeah, I will briefly explain you on this. See, we have different type of financial services which we do for our clients. Mainly, what I will tell you is MIS reporting, what we are doing for them. MIS reporting is what exactly? It gives you the operations or the results of the company for a particular period. What we do is we do the analysis with the prior year period, with the prior month, and we do the proper analysis of the revenue, EBITDA, that is earning before interest, tax and depreciations. So this profit analysis we do, and we give the suggestions to the client if it requires for reducing any cost or cost control measures need to be adopted, then we always give them the advice. So these are the things what we have to give them in a proper way. What I call is, this is a dashboard modeling, actually dashboard what you prepare for the company with the KPIs, that is key performance indicators for the company. So this is very important for the company. So we do provide these services to them in order to help them in these areas, which they cannot keep the professionals, because being the small companies, they cannot keep the professionals, so they can always take the services from our company on this.
Amazing. So that's a very good thing to know, and this is actually one of the most important things I feel for a company to success is the knowing, what are the KPIs, what are performance throughout the month, throughout the year, throughout the quarter.
Yes.
It's a very important thing. And about that, Nazir, I want to also talk to you, because we also mentioned it before, that Avantex is giving a full end-to-end service, regarding everything. We mentioned business setup, we mentioned visa services, we mentioned inventory, we mentioned taxation. So why you think it's so important to have one place that gives you all the business setup and performance needed?
Utilizing our end-to-end services saves the time and resources of the clients. The clients can rely on a particular service provider, and the streamline the process and the consistency of our services.
Amazing. So it's like a good way to have everything in the same place and have one, people to support you. I feel that I see you, both of you, I see you are very caring and very, want to get your business, business that work with you the best way. So
Mr. Mukesh has recently joined with Avantex, and it has given us, more mileage to do the business, and his experience in this different industries is really worthful, and we are working together to achieve our goals.
Amazing. So it's very, very good to know and hear. And speaking of the experience, Mr. Mukesh, I want also to talk about new business, okay? Because as we said also, a lot of new people, new expats coming to the UAE, opening their business here. So they have a lot of struggles as beginners of a business. So can you just tell us some tips for new business owners, how they can open their business and make it thrive and success here in the best way possible?
Yeah, definitely. As we already discussed in the previous topics, that businesses, the small businesses, if they are having a new startup here in UAE, then first of all, they need to understand the proper process of registration, making a trade license, then keeping the people, then other regulatory requirements like labor, immigration and all that they have to understand. And they have to see that what activity they want to add into their business and what are their goals like to achieve. Okay, so we help them and we assist them in achieving their goals and achieving their whatever objective is there, that we help them. So this is how we are planning to help these SMEs who are coming new to the UAE. And plus we explain them the taxation, what is the corporate tax, VAT, what are the exemptions available, so that they can avail those exemptions based on the activity they select. So these are the tips which we give them.
Very good tips, definitely. And, I feel that you just mentioned, that company tax is relatively a new thing. VAT is relatively a new thing here in the UAE.
Yes.
So you always need to stay updated here in the UAE for new things, for new information from the government. So how do you stay updated? What is your procedures about that when giving the best information?
Yeah, basically what we do is for updating ourselves with the latest requirements, laws, regulation, we attend industry webinars. Nowadays there are webinars, so we are attending webinars. Exhibitions also we are attending. Many times we are attending exhibitions also, which help us in growing our business. Plus one more thing is nowadays the social media is also there, one of the platform where you get the updates on the new things and all that. So these are the few like areas where we get the updated ourselves. And one more thing I would like to add here is, I am being a chartered accountant. I am a member of Institute of Chartered Accountant of India Dubai chapter. So we are having regular meetings over there, so we get updated on those areas.
Great. So you have a lot of channels to get the fresh knowledge and know-how. So I want also to discuss, because part of the end-to-end services you mentioned you are giving is trademark registration, which is also a very important thing. So can you tell us why it's so important for a business to have?
We are supporting for registering the trademark. Actually, trademark registration is the process of securing the brand. When we are securing our brand, it gives our customers safety, security, and quality and goodwill for about the products and services.
Great. And another thing you're doing is also ISO. Sometimes ISO.
ISO certification.
Exactly. It's sometimes been mandatory, with people from working with big corporates, big companies, or sometimes government.
Yeah, definitely.
So tell us a little bit about the process and how it's going.
So this is as per the standard of standardization process. Some government projects, ISO certification is mandatory. So definitely most of the companies are taking the ISO certification for attending the government tenders and projects.
You were basically helping them doing everything, making sure that they are fitting the standard and getting the right badge for them so they can apply government services. Amazing. Yeah. And I want also to discuss, about choosing the right provider, because we've been talking here for quite some time, getting to know you and your business, and you can just maybe share us some tips for business owners, the heroes right now, how they can find their best corporate service provider. What are the methods they should go through to find the right one?
As I mentioned, we are providing the end-to-end services. That end-to-end services, we are working as per the requirement of the clients. Our local extensive experience and dedicated team, also our personalized approach will help the clients to grow their businesses.
Amazing. So that's very good things to know. And Mukesh, I want to also ask you about, the future for Dubai, for UAE, for taxation maybe here. What do you see in the future for all those things?
Yeah, so Elias, basically, if you see the outlook of the Dubai for future, what I understand is the increased use of digitalization plus AI technologies and focus on sustainability. These are the main concepts of UAE, where they are focusing on sustainability, like it may be environment sustainability, it may be financial sustainability, and economic sustainability. So all these things we are focusing to achieve the vision 2030 and 2050. Okay. So mainly now the concept of go green has also now come into picture. So like we are going green and reducing our carbon footprints. And plus now you must have seen like most of the government authorities, they don't have any paper. They have the paperless work, right? So there is no paper anywhere. It's all paperless now. So these are the concept which government is having using it, and they are trying to achieve their 2030 and 2050 vision. So this is what I feel.
Amazing. And you just mentioned in your things AI, artificial intelligence is also one of the biggest things for the future.
Yeah.
And I see and hear many professionals that really fear of AI. They think, it's going to replace us. We won't have jobs and work anymore. So what do you feel about that? Do you feel that AI will replace professionals?
Elias, this is a very good question. And it's like for all of us, it like applies all of us. So my answer to this question is definitely no. That AI will not replace the professionals, because there are certain things which which human needs to respond or answer. Like, if you ask some question, for example, to ChatGPT, then what ChatGPT will do is it will answer you whatever you have asked, but it will not read between the lines. While if you ask a question to like human being, they will analyze the question, they will read between the lines, and then they will answer the questions. So this is how I feel that AI will not definitely 100% replace the professionals. And here I would like to add one more example which will give you the idea on this. Like suppose you have one illness or you are sick, and you are searching in ChatGPT that what is the medicine available for my this illness. Okay, so once you ask ChatGPT, it will give you the answers, like there are various medicines available into that. Okay, so now my question is whether based on that you will go to buy the medicines from the market.
Of course.
I'm
not.
asking you.
I won't.
You want, right?
Yeah.
So what you will do?
I'll go to a doctor.
Definitely. So
Yeah.
this is my answer. Like when you have illness, when you are concerning your health, you will not definitely depend 100% on AI. You will take a consultation from the professionals, and then you will take the medicine accordingly. So this is what I feel, that like all the places AI cannot replace the professionals, and there are places where AI definitely can give you the better options, better ideas in technology, but not replacement of professionals. That's
Great.
what I feel.
So I think I agree with you, because I feel that AI will help professionals. It
Definitely.
won't replace them.
No, definitely.
Because they can do 95% of the work by AI, but this 5% of work is really, really important, and it can only be made by humans, because they need the better understanding, the broader understanding, because
Yeah.
so I definitely agree.
Yeah. And what I think is, like, when there is a human interaction, there is a concept of feeling, care, love, passion, all this thing is there, which technology cannot give.
That's
So
right.
this is what I feel.
It's also part of it, definitely. It's also very, very important for
It's
the
a bonding
of human beings.
Yeah,
That's right.
it's
Yeah, and AI can do it. It just can't.
Yeah.
And also I want to ask you about work-life balance, because I feel it's also one of the biggest important things, because we are, as business owners, we always feel the need to work, even though it's 9 p.m. or 10
I
p.m.
know.
or 1 a.m.
Yeah.
the sometimes. And we always feel that we are not doing enough, but we still have families and hobbies and maybe other things. And our mental health is also very important. So what do you feel is work-life balance should be?
Yeah, this is also one of the good question. What I will tell you, maybe some 6-7 years back, I attended one seminar on this time study. Okay, in that they have explained regarding this concept of work-life balance. So what they answered, or what they told actually, is like, if you have 24 hours a day, you multiply 24 into 7. So you get the numbers of hours per week. Those numbers of hours you divide by 3, and that 3 divisions, one part you use for your family, one part you use for your sleep, which is very important, and one part you use for your business or like offices or whatever, attending that. So this is and this was a good concept which I understood, and it helped me a lot also, because then what happens is, if you compromise in any one of the thing, the other 2 things will suffer. For example, if you compromise on your sleep, what will happen? Your health
you
will
work
also,
less. Yeah.
and your health will suffer. Or if you compromise on your work also, then your income
Your family
will suffer. Yeah.
Yeah.
So these are the things which you need to consider for your time management of your work-life balance.
Great. So it's also very important things. And guys, we are just coming close to the end of this interview. We've been really fascinated by your work and everything you're doing. There is anything else you would like to add or mention before we finish this interview?
Yeah, Elias, I would like to add one more point here regarding anti-money laundering. Okay, I just want to elaborate little more on that. Anti-money laundering act, which has recently, maybe 5-6 years back, it has come into existence in UAE. So what exactly it does is, there are certain sectors of industry who need to comply with these provisions. Okay, so mainly the financial institutions, that is banking, insurance, this exchange houses and all that, they have to comply with the AML regulation. And they have added other non-financial institutions also into this sector, which is mainly real estate sector, the brokerage firm, and plus even companies like us, corporate service provider, also they have added into this picture. Now, what exactly how this mechanism work is, like in AML, Anti-Money Laundering Act, these companies, all these companies which I mentioned, they have to register on the online portal of GoAML. GoAML is the official portal of the government for registering these companies into this portal. Once you registered into this portal, then there are various checks and controls which you need to keep on your customers. Okay. For example, when any customer comes, then you have to keep record of KYC of the customer. You have to keep the know your customer details, everything you have to mention in that. Then there is one more thing, that is customer due diligence you have to perform on each customer. Then another thing is you have to keep the records of the transaction with the customer. So these are the things required for this AML regulation, which needs to be kept by all these companies. And one more thing, if you find any suspicious activity of the customer, then you have to submit a report SAR, that is suspicious activity report, into the portal of this GoAML. Which is your where you are having your own company's this thing portal. So there you have to report this type of activities. So these are the measures which we have to take in anti-money laundering regulations.
Great. And
there also we help our customers on that.
You help and you also tell them in what industries it's mandatory, because it's not mandatory for all industries, if I'm correct.
No,
right?
It is not mandatory for all. It's mostly for the financial institutions and some companies like this.
Yeah. So it's much better to know that before the Nazir. Any last remarks?
Yeah, we are really thankful to our dedicated team members in the company, also our customers, because customer satisfaction is our motto. We are getting business through our customers' references. So our dedicated team is doing fantastic job. I'm really thankful to them. We are keeping the professional and emotional balance with our customers and our staff.
Amazing. So that's a very important things to say. And, because we are, at the end of the day, we are business owners. We are doing the job, but we have teams that help us do better and do great. So it's amazing that you say that. Mukesh, any something else you would like to say?
Elias, that's all. I think what I wanted to say, I told everything. And I think thank you very much for inviting us on this.
Thank you so much for coming to this podcast and learn so much from you guys. And if you guys see us today want to join and hear more from Avantex, we will share all the details here in the bottom of this video so you can contact them. Nazir, Mukesh, Avantex, thank you so much for coming to this podcast.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you so much for listening. See you next time.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye-bye.
Welcome to Business Time, the main stage for your business.